Hello everybody and welcome back to Warframe, the Complete Beginner's Guide Part 3. Thank you all so much for the support on this series. It makes me so happy that I get to continue making videos for this awesome game. In the last time, we talked about getting your very first frame, the Rhino, from Venus. One of the things I neglected to mention is that I believe to complete the systems portion of the blueprint, you're going to need a control module. Well, a control module drops on Neptune, Europa, and the Void. And as you can see, we're still a few planets away from Europa, the Void, and super far away from Neptune. So what I would suggest is just hold your horses. If you've got the components for the frame, that's awesome. You can build, I think it's the neuroptics and the chassis, and just let that wait until we get a couple of planets further. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to get over to these locations, and you'll be there before you know it. Today, we're going to be talking about Mars. So last time we talked Venus, Mercury. You're then going to head back to Earth and complete the Mars Junction. Complete the Once Awake quest line. Now, I'm not going to click this in case there's any spoilers for my current quest, because this is my main account, but I'm assuming that you guys are completing your quest lines in the background of this series. I don't want this to be something where I completely railroad your experience and go, then do this, that, this, that, because that's really no fun for anybody. But complete your quests minus that Kubro quest that we talked about last time, because it's just sort of a resource sink. Be completing your quests as regularly as possible. Defeat 150 Frontier Grenier enemies on Earth. That should be fairly self-explanatory. As long as you're clearing your blinking blue missions, everything should be dandy. Collect 500 rubido in missions. These are red little crystal-looking resources that, as long as you're playing the missions and picking up them, it should happen pretty regularly. And then, of course, they're making sure that you complete the Susui mission on Mercury, basically. And Mercury is very self-explanatory. Mars! Mars is a planet I really wish I had watched a guide before I got to this point. Because from Mars, we're going to go to Phobos. And then after Phobos, we're going to go to Ceres. The Phobos Junction requires a few things. Defeat 150 enemies in a single mission on Mars. That one is pretty easy. We're going to look for an excavation mission. Excavation is basically endless. It gives you resources that we're going to need later. A lot of people are usually running this mission, and it also has the loot table of AABC. So in Warframe, there's this concept of AABC for the loot tables. If this was a defense mission, which I know everybody watching this guide at this point has completed a defense mission, the first 5 minutes, the loot table is A. The second 5 minutes going, up to 10 minutes is the loot table A. 10 to 15 minutes, when you complete it, the reward is then pulled from loot table B, and 15 to 20 minutes is the loot table C. This is a very common phrase in Warframe, AABC. And usually the rewards get better on loot table B, and they usually get even better on loot table C. So if you just go and farm the excavation mission right here, I definitely suggest public matchmaking. You can even type in chat to the player saying, hey, I'm looking to get 150 enemies killed for the Phobos Junction. A lot of times people will stick around so that you can complete that task. Now, the big one here, and the most frustrating part about this planet, scan 3 Cephalon fragments on Mars. So if you do not know about this before you start Mars, this is unbelievably frustrating. And the game does a horrific job of explaining this to the player. So we want to head over here to the market. I'm going to type in Codex, and you obviously see Codex Scanner show up. Click it. You want to buy Codex scanners. I would say keep 100 with you at all times. They're super duper cheap. Just buy them. They're credits. It's super simple. Buy. Okay, I usually have 100 on me at any time. You always want to make sure you have some in your inventory. So you're going to buy those Codex scanners, and in order to equip it, we need to go back to our armory here, and then it's under gear. Here's a wheel where you can equip stuff, and you can see I have my Codex scanner equipped here. Make sure you have it equipped in your gear wheel. That is ridiculously important. So on each mission, there is what's called a Cephalon fragment. and it is random where it spawns. I hate the orbit mission music, so I'm gonna back out of this for a second while I explain it. So as you're completing missions on Mars, you're gonna want to look for these Cephalon fragments. I will put footage of what it looks like on screen now and explain the node that's very easy to farm to find it. It's random where it is, okay, on the map. It's usually located in a corner, tucked away somewhere on the edges of the map, and you need to scan 3 of them in order to go to Phobos. I think it used to actually be 5. Is it really just 3 right now? Okay, it's 3, but it definitely used to be 5 before some update. People must have complained about it. Now, if you know about this beforehand while you're playing through all the mission nodes on Mars, if you know about it beforehand, it's pretty self-explanatory, and you most likely will find 1 or 2 of them on your way through the planet. But a great way to farm them, let's say you didn't buy the codex scanner, you've completed the mission nodes on Mars, and you're totally stuck on this one. The mission you want to grind is ARA. A-R-A. This is a capture mission, meaning you can go, you can kill the person really quickly, and then spend the rest of your time looking around on the map to try and find the Cephalon fragment. This is what I used to get my 3 fragments. In fact, beforehand, I'm throwing footage up of it. I played like 4 missions, and out of those missions, it spawned twice. The first time it showed up, I wasn't recording. I was really, really sad. If you are still struggling to find them, because guys, trust me, it is frustrating. It is annoying. If you're still struggling to find them, there is a common mod, I believe is called Thieves Wit. Thieves, not thieves with a V, but with an F. Thieves Wit. This will highlight mods through the environment as well as the mini-map. And you can upgrade this, I think, to expand the radar range. But essentially, it shows you on your map when you're near a Cephalon fragment. You can see it in the upper left-hand corner here, the footage that I'm showing. And that is, that's a really good tool if you're having trouble finding them. That is such an annoying thing. Like, I did not enjoy Mars purely because of that requirement. The Boltor. I talked to you guys about the Boltor in previous videos. The Boltor is really, really great for Mars as you're seeing the levels of enemies go up, because the Boltor deals high puncture damage, and Mars is a planet where the enemies are the Grineer, and the Grineer have armor, and puncture damage works really well against armor. So again, if you guys hit Mastery Rank 2, which you should have by now, you should have built the Boltor if you're following this guide. Boltor is a great weapon to have. Really nice and strong weapon that'll scale and go with you for quite a long ways. Okay, now one last thing for this particular point in the guide. To get to Phobos, you need to open 3 Lith Void Relics. So as we have been playing, you may have seen these things like, they look like cabbages to me. Cabbages dropping in your missions. These are Void Relics. These Void Relics are an item that you basically equip for a special type of mission, and at the end of the mission, you will be given a chance of one of the rewards within these. If you're a Destiny player, these are almost like engrams that you equip before you do the mission, and then when the mission's done, it randomly selects a reward of what could have been in that engram. So if we look here at the Lith H1 relic or any, you can see what's in these relics, okay? So there's a chance for the Bronco Prime blueprint to be in here, Saren Prime, Paris Prime, Nami, Skyla Prime. I mean, these are all items, some of which you'll know about. A lot of times this is where you're going to get prime parts for your prime weapons and your prime frames. But we need to basically open 3 of these. So how do we open them? We play a specific mission. Forma. We're going to talk about Forma. Forma is basically what I'm going to recommend you guys pick. So, by the way, this station should have been made available to you after you've completed Earth. We'll come back here in just a moment after I go show you these missions. So in order to open a Void Relic, we have to play a special type of mission. Up here in your upper right-hand corner is the notifications. If I click the one that looks like 2 little flames intertwining, these are Void Fissures. These are missions that allow you to open up your Void Relics by completing a certain task, and I'll show you here. If your missions don't match mine, don't worry. They are pretty much all the same in terms of, like, the general gist of it. These play out like normal missions, except you have to pick up a special type of item. So I'm going to just pick Martialis right here, and then it's going to ask me which one of these do I want to put up, okay? So you basically get to pick which one of these do you want to potentially have a reward from. I want to find one that has Forma, and I encourage you guys to do the same. Right now, I mean, a lot of these look really cool. You're like, oh man, Valkyr Prime, I want to build that. Oh man, the Burstin Prime, that sounds super cool. What matters most right now, and you're going to be farming Void Relics and doing this a whole lot as the game progresses, what matters most is your Forma. I will explain how Forma works a little bit later, but you want to start stacking as many Forma blueprints as possible. I would say probably 10 to 15. So I'm going to pick this guy right here. I'm going to equip it for the mission. Are you sure you want to equip it? I do. And then it's going to find me a squad. These usually have multiple players in it. It doesn't look like maybe I'm getting a player for this particular. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, because usually people are playing these fairly regularly. This is also a point in which the game, like when I was doing my first playthrough, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like a very euphoric moment when you're like, oh ho ho, this is sweet. Okay, so this is a rescue mission. Like I said, these play out just like normal missions, except with a little bit of a twist. Let's shoot this up here. Oh, by the way, guys, this is my very first 4K video ever. As I get a frame rate hitch right as I'm saying that. That's funny. That's probably networking related stuff. My internet is horrific. As we complete this mission and as we're killing enemies, there's a certain little item that you're going to see potentially dropping, and we have to pick up 10 of those. The community calls them lemons. You'll see when we actually get one to drop why that actually is. So, all right. By the way, I'm still using Excalibur. You should still be using Excalibur as well, or whatever frame that you picked. I totally went to the wrong place on the radar. That's fine. Using my Boltor. Oh, there we go. Okay, so see those little notifications on the radar? On the UI right here? Boom! Okay, this is called Reactant, and they drop from enemies while you're in your Void missions, and you need 10 Reactant in order to open up your Void Relics. And they are mapped, or marked on the radar. One of the things I did forget to tell you guys, by the way, is when you find a Cephalon fragment, you want to mark it for your team. Look at it, press the G key. That will put down a waypoint. I don't know what it is on a controller, I'm sorry. If you look at the waypoint again and press G, then you'll take the waypoint away. But that's like total Warframe etiquette. So make sure that when you are finding those Cephalon fragments, or whenever you're finding sort of a more rare enemy, or excuse me, rare drop, let your teammates know about it. So you see those little things, we're gonna shoot that. And we're gonna go grab more of this right here. Those little orange guys, you shoot and that drops the reactant. Sometimes enemies drop it, I guess. I haven't played all the Void Relic mission types. Okay. And we'll continue on here with the normal mission objective. Do note some mission objectives are timed, so you want to be careful about how slowly, especially like capture missions. If you're too slow, the target will get away. Man, the movement in this game is super fun. And by the way, for those of you wondering, it does look just lovely in 4K. I've been wanting to get into 4K for years. I've just not had the budget, but this Cyber Monday was like the jam. Here you go, buddy. There's your who's got the what frame is? Oh, it's Volt. Okay, yeah, I love the speed boost of Volt. It's pretty funny. All right. Did I miss some reactant? No, I guess I didn't. Now, before we finish the mission, we need to get the remaining reactant. So there's another one. We still need 2 or 3 more. Boop. Some mission types like defense and extraction are my favorite for doing these, because you can just keep going with your buddies. You know, like if you have a squad going, you don't have to really worry about much. All right, there's the remaining reactant, and so we'll get the VIP out of here. Noop, doop. There we go. Okay, there's all 10, and now we just continue on to the end, as long as our little prisoner doesn't get shot too hard. And oh, I'm stuck on stuff. I actually took a little bit of a break from Warframe the last week or so, but I am still enjoying it. It's been great to come back to it. I know that the console just got the Plains of Eidolon update. I don't know if they call it Eidolon or Eidolon. My Final Fantasy 13 senses are tingling. Anybody who got that or remembers it, high five to you. What a beautiful, beautiful game. I don't know how this sucker is free. So there you go. You're going to notice here when we get to the score screen, it's going to allow us to pick a handful of rewards. If Forma shows up, I'm picking Forma. I recommend you pick Forma. Come on, bro. You can do it. What are you doing? You're a frost monster. Okay, here we go. So you can pick, if you're playing with party members, which one you want. I'm going to pick Valkyr Prime. You can tell by the colors, common, like uncommon and rare. So it's bronze, silver, and gold. We didn't get a Forma blueprint on these ones. But whichever one you click there, you basically get to select. That's the benefit of playing these Void Relic missions with other players, is you get to pick whatever they had the option of, which it's way more fun. I recommend just playing it with other people doing the public matchmaking thing. So there's 1 of 3, and you're going to do that a few more times, and that's how you're going to get to Phobos. Pretty cool, right? And obviously, as the game goes further and further, you're going to have better and better rewards hiding within there. And if we go and look here, I have a Valkyr frame. I don't have Valkyr Prime, but I might be like, oh, well, maybe I want to build myself a Valkyr Prime. Got the systems and neuroptics, I'm just missing that chassis. If you ever want to know, before you start up one of those missions and look, what's potentially in them, you can come and look here at your little Void Relic refinement station, which we're going to come back to in about 30 seconds. All right. That is how you get to the Phobos Junction, okay? And then you're going to go to Phobos. Try to scroll my map up here. And you're going to complete Phobos. Phobos is very easy, very self-explanatory. And remember when I talked about those control modules, right? Well, you get to go to the Void from Phobos. And the Void is probably one of the coolest locations in Warframe, if not for like the coolest. The artwork here, the tile sets are great. So if you're just super duper hungry to build that Rhino frame right now, you have a concrete idea of how you can get to the place where you can farm for control modules. That's Phobos. So remember, Earth to Venus to Mercury, back to Earth to Mars, and then to Phobos. I want to cover one last thing before I conclude this portion of the guide. The Ceres Junction. Defeat the Sergeant at Iliad on Phobos. So basically clear nodes on Phobos. That's natural, right? Defeat Lieutenant Lech Krill at War on Mars. So another mission and a boss that I kind of enjoy not covering the bosses in this guide. I really, again, don't want to spoil this experience for you. In many ways, it's so much of it is like the discovery. So defeat 300 arid Grineer enemies on Mars. As long as you're clearing your blue nodes, that's going to naturally happen. And then refine a Void Relic once at the console in your orbiter. That's why I said we'd be back at this thing in 30 seconds. So let's go back to our orbiter. And then I'm going to pick one of my relics. And here, as you play your missions, you're going to get refinement, right? That's the stuff that we were picking up, the resource that we were picking up in those Void Relic missions. You can use this refinement to increase your drop chances of certain things, okay? So that's what it's showing you here, is like basically if I put 100 refinement in, I'm going to drastically increase the drop chances of some of these things, right? Oh, that Valkyr Prime, I super duper want that. So I'm going to do it right now. I'm just going to do exceptional because it's the cheapest. You can do the cheapest. Really doesn't matter. And there you go. That satisfies the need for that junction. Like the little tick box has been hit. Before I close, the reason I'm telling you guys to build Forma. Forma is an item. You'll get the blueprint for it. It's a one-time use blueprint. I don't know if I have any. Let me see if I have any right now. Okay, yeah, I have one ready to claim. I'm going to claim my Forma. Forma is used for... Okay, no, this may get complicated, but just stay with me, okay? Forma is used when you're working with mods. Okay, please. Ortis, my man. Chill, my man. Forma is used to basically change the polarity of a slot. So look how this slot has the little thing that looks like a rifle's butt. If I come over here to Vizarin, I knew it had a name, and I put a Vizarin mod into the slot. Do you see how it's green? See how it's green? Boop. I don't have enough capacity. Let me get rid of one of you. Okay. Boop. Now, see how it went from 3 to 6? This normally costs 6 in my capacity, right? But since this slot, the polarity of the slot is this little symbol, and it matches this, boom, it costs half as much. So, how do you get to determine the polarity of a slot? I go here, I go to Actions, Polarization, and then I pick a slot. I can pick this slot right here, and see, I can pick the symbol. The little weird Y, the rifle's butt, or a line. And then you apply it, it consumes the forma, and boom, you have just formed a slot. You're going to need a lot of forma because when we get the weapons and the frame, you can do this with your frame slots too. You're going to get really, really powerful mods that cost a boatload of capacity. Where is... I know I showed this in the last video. Why is it not here? Transient. Why is it not here? Oh, because I'm on a weapon. Sorry. I'm sorry. It should be on here. Transient. Okay. Transient Fortitude. 12. That's a lot. And when I start using like lots of those mods, that's going to eat up tons of space that I actually need. So formatting your slots allows you to put more better mods into the slots, and it's pretty important. That's why you need it. I know that seems super duper complicated right now, but it will make sense in time. That is all I want to cover in the third part of this video. As always, I do very much appreciate your support. If you have any questions, please let me know, concerns, whatever. Again, this is not like a total everything you need to do, step A, B, C, D through E, but these are hopefully some things that can help you push past some of the sticking points that I think delay a lot of new players and throw them off. Next video, I do want to talk about factions because we're pretty much at that point. Continue working on your mastery rank, like if you're MR2, well, you should be MR2 by now. You know, keep pushing to MR3, keep building blueprints, leveling weapons up, because we really want to get to MR4 so we can build that heck shotgun. So with all of that said, thank you very much. If you found this video helpful, please thumbs it up, subscribe for more. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and I will talk with you next time.